Good morning. Today we are going to take our second chapter. The name of our chapter is cell clusters. So in our first chapter we have studied about what is a cell and what are the parts of the cell, what are the cell organelles, and what is the difference between a plant cell and an animal cell. All these things we have studied in our first chapter. In this chapter we are going to study about the different types of cells and what is a tissue and what about the animal tissue and what are the different kinds of plant tissues. All these things we are going to cover in this chapter. So our second chapter, cell clusters, name is cell clusters. And the different types in our body, we all know that the basic structural and functional unit of our body is the life is what cell. So our body is made up of different kinds of cells, is it? So and about 200 different types of cells are present in our body. Among those are nerve cells, bone cells, blood cells, muscle cells, etc. All these are the different kinds of cells present in our body. I will just show you a picture about the different types of cells. In this picture, you can see a nerve cell, bone cell, blood cell, and a muscle cell. These are the different types of cells in our body. Not only these cells, about 200 different types of cells are present in our body. It's clear for you. And thus, we all know that we are developed from a single cell. That is, and the single cell is known as the zygote. Okay, in our mother's womb, we all are developing from a single cell. That is, and the name of that single cell is zygote. That zygote undergoes continuous division, and it will form the fetus. That fetus is consisting of fetus will consist of different kinds of cells with a different size and shape, and the fetal cell will regain and or attain or change into different structure and different function. Each cell will be having different structure and each cell will be having different functions, and this process is known as cell differentiation. That is the cell attaining a different structure and different function, and that process is known as the cell differentiation. So once more I will tell you, our body is made up of different kinds of cells. For about 200 different types of cells are present. Example for those cells are bone cells, muscle cell, then blood cell, etc. Then our body is developed from a single cell called the zygote. That zygote undergoes continuous division and forms the fetus. The fetus cell and the fetal cell consist of different cells of different shape and size. And the fetal cell is attained or regain the different structure and also different in function. And that process is known as cell differentiation. And another is stem cells. I have told you different types of cells are present in our body. One of the important type of cell is stem cells. Stem cells have the capacity to change into other kind of cells. So stem cells are the specialized kind of cells present in our body, which has the capacity to change into another kind of cell. Stem cells will be present in our body as a stem cell itself, or it will be by undergoing continuous division, it will be changed into other kind of cells. So stem cells will remain as stem cells itself in our body, or it will be undergoing changes, continuous changes, and will be transformed into other kind of cells. And the most important thing of these cells is no other cells can transform into any other type of cell. For example, a nerve cell means it is a nerve cell. It will do the function of the nerve cell only. It won't perform the function of any other cell. But in the case of stem cell, by undergoing continuous division, it will be transformed into other kind of cell. So the scientists, what they are doing by doing the experiments, In laboratory condition, in specific under specific condition, we can develop using a stem cell, we can develop the desired cell, so that it will be very helpful. And the scientists are thinking that with the help of this stem cell, it bring a miraculous changes in the field of medicine and medical field. That means we can find, we can treatment, we can make the treatment using these stem cells for the diabetes, Parkinson's. Parkinson's is a nervous disease, nervous disorder disease, Parkinson's, and all these things, all these diseases can be treated. Blood cancer, all these diseases can be treated with the help of these stem cells. That means if a cell is damaged inside our body, if it is damaged, the tissues in the cell is damaged, it can be changed with the help of the stem cells. And for that, what is a tissue? So tissue is a group of similar cell with the common origin and specific function. So ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് സെൽസിനെ ഒരേ കോമൺ ഒറിജിൻ ആയിട്ട് ഒരു കോമൺ ഇതിൽ നിന്നുണ്ടായതും ഒരു സ്പെസിഫിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ചെയ്യുന്നതുമായുള്ള ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് സെൽസിനെയാണ് പറയുന്നത് tissues. We all know that different types of cells are present in our body. So different types of tissues are also present in our body. Is it clear for you? So in our body, one of the most important cell is the stem cell. I think you understood about the importance and what is the stem cell. And stem cell is present inside the digestive tract and skin. All these parts, stem cell is present. Then another thing is about the tissues. I have told you tissues are a group of cells which have a common origin and a specific function. So in the case of cells, we have studied there are two different types of cell, animal cell and plant cell. Likewise, in the case of tissues also, there are two different kinds of tissues, that is animal tissues and plant tissues. Now we can see which are the different kinds of animal tissues. Yes, here you can see there are four different types of four different main tissues present in our body is epithelial tissue, then connective tissue, then nervous tissue, and muscle tissue or muscular tissue. Epithelial tissue covers the outside of the body and lines organs and cavities in the body. So the function of the epithelial tissue is it covers the outside of the body and also it lines the organs and cavities within the body. That is the function of the epithelial tissue. Now what is the tissue? I have already told you. That is a group of cells, similar cells having a common origin and a specific function. So the first type is the four main types. Different types of tissues are present in our body. Among those four main types of tissues present is one is the animal tissue, is the epithelial tissue that covers the outside of the body and lines organs and cavities within the body. And so it also provides protection to our body. Then next is the connective tissue. As its name indicates, you all know that then as its name indicates, it connects the different types of tissues. The function is mainly to bind and support other tissues. Then next is the nervous tissues. Nervous tissue, the senses stimuli and transmit signals from one part of the animal to the other. That means nervous tissue carry the message to our brain and carry the message from brain to the related part of the body. That means if we are touching anything, that signal is what we have touched. That message is transmitted to the brain, and from the brain we will receive a message what object we have touched or what object we have seen. That message is given in return from the brain. All these functions are done with the help of these nervous tissues. Then muscle tissue. We all know that with the help of muscle, we are having the movement to our body. So muscle tissue helps in the movement of the body. It is composed of long cells called the muscle fibers that are capable of contracting when stimulated by the nerve impulses. So muscle tissue have the capacity to contract and relax. So these are the 4 different types of tissues. Now you can view a video regarding the different types of animal tissues. Yes, now you can see the video. I think it's clear for you about the different types of animal tissues. There are 4 main different types of animal tissues. That is epithelial tissue, nervous tissue, then connective tissue, and muscular tissue or muscle tissue. All these are the 4 different types of animal tissues present in our body. Next, we can see about the different kinds of plant tissues. So now we can see the division of plant tissues, how the plant tissues are divided, and what is the division of plant tissues. Here the plant tissues, you can see the picture, the plant tissue is divided into main division, that is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue is the tissue present in plants which is present in the tip of the stem and which undergoes particular stimulation and result in the growth of the plant. So this is the reason why the plants grow out of that. We all know that our growth is limited up to and all animals the reason cancer will there throughout their life. Then next is about the permanent tissue. The permanent tissue is also divided into two, that is simple tissue and complex tissue. So permanent tissue divided into simple and complex tissues. Simple tissues are of again divided and simple tissue again divided into three, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So again I am repeating, that is permanent tissue is divided into simple and complex tissues. Simple tissue again divides into three, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Among these three, sclerenchyma has again as the division, that is fibers and scleroids. So parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma are the three kinds of simple tissue. And about the complex tissue, that is divided into two, that is xylem and phloem. Under xylem, there are different types of xylem cells. That is xylem truncates, vessels, xylem parenchyma, then again comes the xylem fibers. Then phloem is divided into xylem tubes, companion cells, then phloem parenchyma, phloem fibers. Study about this different types of xylem and phloem detail, but just know about the names of different kinds of xylem and phloem cells. Then about the simple tissue, one by one we can check down the simple tissues. First one is the parenchyma. What about the parenchymal cells? We can see now what is the parenchyma. So parenchyma is the tissue has loosely packed thin walled cells. So the parenchyma cells are having thin walled structure and it's loosely packed. As it's loosely packed, what will be the intercellular space is found. Okay, so parenchyma is the loosely packed and thin walled cells and intercellular space is found in the parenchyma. And the function of the parenchyma is you can take part in photosynthesis and the splitting of the, and it is seen in the softer part of the plant. Then some parenchyma contain chlorophyll, that is chlorenchyma of leaves involved in the parenchyma cells consist of the chlorophyll, and that chlorenchyma of leaves involved in photosynthesis. And I have already told you that parenchyma has the function taking part in the photosynthesis, that is because of the chlorophyll. Then another point is some parenchyma contain large air cavities, that is aerenchyma of hydrophytes, water plants. Hydrophytes means water plants. Then the plants float on the water. So hydrophytes or water plants are capable of floating in the water because of the presence of aerenchyma. Aerenchyma cells are present. Aerenchyma and chlorenchyma is both are a type of parenchyma tissues, different kinds of parenchyma tissues. Now the next step is the chlorenchyma. You can see now next is the collenchyma cells. Okay, so parenchyma, after that collenchyma. Then we can see the peculiarities of collenchyma. What is the peculiarity of collenchyma? This tissue is composed of elongated cells with less intercellular space. Current time study what about parenchyma cells? We have studied about parenchyma cells are loosely packed and they are thin walled and having the intercellular space. And what about collenchyma? This tissue composed of elongated cells with less intercellular space. The space in between the cell is less. And what about the cell wall? About parenchyma is the tissue that consists of the intercellular spaces, and it is made up of thin walled cells. As in the case of parenchyma, what is it does not consist of much intercellular space. Okay. Next type of plant tissue is the sclerenchyma. We can see about the sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, what sclerenchyma? This tissue is composed of long, narrow, then thick-walled cells. Thick-walled cells. The cell wall contains lignin, which provide hardness. No intercellular space is found in sclerenchyma. So the cellular space is absent in case of sclerenchyma. This tissue provides hardness and strength to the parts of the plant. All of that seed cord, etc. All these parts are harder because of the presence of sclerenchyma. So you should compare and study. Parenchyma are loosely packed, parenchyma are having less intercellular space, and sclerenchyma does not have any intercellular space. And thus, parenchyma is made up of thin-walled cells. Parenchyma is made up of thin only at the corners. Sclerenchyma is uniformly thick all over all parts of the cell is uniformly thick and no intercellular space is present. So I think it's clear for you about the different types of simple tissue present in the plant, and about the complex tissue that we can study in the next class. So what all things we have studied today? We have studied about the cell. There are 200 different types of cells present in our body, and the cells, a group of similar cells having a common origin and specific function, is called a tissue. And we have studied that our body is developed from a single cell called the zygote, and it undergoes differentiation and continuous differentiation and forms the fetus. Then we have studied about the stem cell, then about the animal cell, 4 different types of animal cell, then about 4 different types of animal tissues, and that is epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, nervous tissue, all these tissues, and muscle tissue, all these tissues we have studied. Then about the different types of plant tissues also studied. Plant tissues divided into 2, meristematic and simple. Permanent tissue again divided into simple and complex. Under the simple, we have studied about parenchyma, parenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Is clear for you? Next, about the complex tissue, we will study in the next part of the class, in the next class. So if you are having any doubt regarding the class, we can clear through the WhatsApp. Okay, thank you.